Hello guys, we're back again, and today we're back with vitamin A. So best source per 100 grams is going to be cod liver oil, and wins the label race. Why? Because it's an ultra concentrated form. We can kind of treat this like a sometimes food, not a daily staple. For example, like a pan-fried liver portion on rare occasions is going to be your highest form of getting vitamin A in. The most efficient to get in enough on the daily basis is probably going to be cooked carrot, spinach, and sweet potato. Why? And this is because cooking opens up the plant cell walls, so the vitamin A is easier to use. And then the best way to help absorb it better, because it's a fat soluble vitamin, is adding a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil onto to make it taste nice. The best per serving is probably you'll actually pick foods that you can plate up in one scoop. And why? Because realistically, portions beat theoretical winners. So a small baked sweet potato with a cup of carrots, and Tuesday night dinner with a roast chicken is probably going to give you more realistic vitamin A than actually having something concentrated like a liver and cod liver oil when we're comparing. So that's the fast answer. In terms of this table, it kind of talks to you about vitamin A in terms of per 100 grams. It talks about per 100 grams and calories. And then it talks about how much vitamin A you get per 100 calories as well, in micrograms, which I think is a nice representation that actually how much you actually get with beef liver, cod liver, lamb liver, how crazy high it is as well. But it's not something that you can probably eat. Well, some people might, but it's probably something I don't recommend as part of a balanced diet to kind of have every single day. But actually, how you can actually get a decent amount from your carrot, spinach, and whatnot as well. Hello, guys. My name's Bali. I'm your dietitian, and I'm just going to talk today about vitamin A and the best foods. So, those of you who are done with the fast answers, you can go now. And for those of you who want to learn a little bit more and go into a bit more detail, feel free to carry on with me today. So, what I'm going to talk about first is we've kind of talked about the best foods already. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is kind of why it's important. What does vitamin A do? So it's essentially a night vision helper. So vitamin A helps to build rhodopsin in the retina, which is one of the key elements that helps to build night vision. And the best way to kind of do that is when you include vitamin A rich foods with dinner, there's a switch in the retinoic acid, which helps the cells grow and repair. And essentially, these kind of helps to increase the amount of vitamin A and the cell integrity around the eye, which in turn help to improve some of our night vision. So all those myths that your parents told you when you were younger about eating carrots before bed to help you see better in the dark are kind of a little bit true. So how much do we actually need? So different countries have different limits and different recommendations. Why do they have this? The main reason for this is because of local population. So they kind of base it off their local populations and the research done in their own countries of what people are eating, what they think people need, blood tests and whatnot, and then what global and international research says as well. So you kind of always end up with a little bit of discrepancies. With vitamin A, and as with most fat soluble vitamins, because it can be toxic on an upper level, they tend to be slightly different. But as you can see here, the recommended amount is quite similar across the board, only 200 grams different, micrograms different between the UK and the USA. So not actually a major difference in that instance there. But and the upper limits are quite consistent as well. The UK is again always quite conservative with things, and I'm not really too sure why the UK is so conservative, but they are also quite low on their DRVs are quite low and outdated as well. So I think it's more of just they've not been updated in a very long time, or the evidence in the UK hasn't kept up with research in other countries. So how can we make sure we get enough vitamin A from the foods that we're eating? So actually optimizing bioavailability depends on a few different things. The main one is adding a little fat to the foods that we're adding. So adding some olive oils into the carrots to help us absorb it a little bit better. Heat and chopping free carotenoids. Why? So this breaks down the plant walls. So when we slightly chop them and heat them up, which increases the amount the cell walls can release of that micronutrient as well. And then how we roast, steam, or stir them as well. So when we pair them with a meal, their body's able to absorb them a little bit better. Whereas sometimes when we have them raw, it makes it a little bit harder for the vitamin A to be extracted from the body as well. What kind of inhibits and cautions this? So actually very low fat meals kind of reduce absorption, definitely, because they just reduce pancreatic and bile reduction as well. And actually, I know everyone loves to eat raw food at the moment as well, but and it's great for fiber, don't get me wrong, and for your gut microbiome, but it actually can inhibit the amount of nutrients that we can absorb as well. So it's, I think again, it's just important to have that balance as well. We kind of want to have, yeah, great to have some raw carrots and great for the fiber intake, but actually slightly cooking them, pairing them with something, carrots and hummus, etc., does make a little bit of a difference as well. Why is it important? So for the liver and gut, the liver stores it as kind of a pantry, so how much it can take, and it kind of looks after it and uses it for where it needs to go. And the gut needs it for transport, but the gut almost acts like the shuttle and the carrier to make sure we absorb and get enough in as well. So that's kind of vitamin A and the role and its use and the importance of it today, and kind of the main dietary sources. So I hope you found that useful, and see you in the next video. Peace.